Our first port of call is Ulzebek.
Back where you first started out.
Yeah, along with my dad.
You okay? You don't look so good.
I think I'm just a little seasick, that's all.
Liar.
Huh?
You heard me. You've never been good at hiding your emotions, Shion.
Excuse me? Just what do you... No. You're right. I'm sorry.
Is it about Alphen?
No. Not just him.
Something you can't talk about?
Rinwell, I'm not like the rest of you.
Of course you are! No, I'm serious. Back when we first met, I think maybe then I did think we were different. But now I know that isn't true. You and I are the same, Shion. We're alike in more ways than you know. If any of us is different, it's me. I'm a Danon who can use magic. I may be the last. My family and I have been living in hiding as long as I can remember.
Everyone has their own pain that can be hard for other people to understand. I saw the two of you talking and thought you could use a third wheel. So, here I am. Sorry.
If anyone's the odd one out here, it's me. Believe me, you don't want to listen to my problems.
Want me to go?
I didn't say that.
I get that you must have a lot circling around that head of yours. And that's okay. Whatever's worrying you right now, you're allowed to worry about it. And you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I know I'm not a Renin like you, or a mage like Rinwell.
I'm not a sovereign, maiden, or lord. I'm just a Danon who used to be a slave.
But regardless of all that, I'm here for you, Shion.
That goes for me too. We all want to be there for you. Me and Hootle and even the boys. I promise. I mean, that is what friends are supposed to do, right?
I said this to Alphen, and now I'll say it to you. You're not alone in this.
Thank you. Rinwell. Kisara.
And right on cue, I think I should make my way back and lie down for a bit. My battle with this ship continues.
Yeah, I better head back too. We wouldn't want the guys thinking they're in charge. Can you imagine Law at the helm? Who knows what kind of trouble we'd get into?
Still, if that's true, then it's all the more reason I have to do this.
Ah, Calaglia. Feels like it's been ages.
And wasn't Zephyr with us too?
Dad.
Hey, chin up! This is your hometown.
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head to...
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renin rule, I'm up to my ears in Danon disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Well, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way. All right.
I guess...
Right. So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
Huh. You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Gotta break through!
Take
this! The flame inside me! Yours to be let free! You escape! Eternal devastation!
It's a doozy! Escape my judgment! This will come in handy!
Flying freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
Xion, can you take care of them?
Now! No sooner said than done!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Astral Arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Pierce evil! Now!
Eternal devastation!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was easy.
No, I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
Wow! Look what I just found.
Gotta break through!
Easter!
You're finished!
Elusive deity!
Try harder! My turn!
Tornado drive!
They're hiding thick as armor!
I'm not done!
I never miss!
We got flyers!
I got this!
Come and
Mark
face
can
me!
handle it! Now!
All yours!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Glacial fear! Pierce the
You're
evil!
mine! Ignite!
Freeze
You're
away!
mine! You're finished!
Feel! Radiant here!
All back in there to Federal Ray!
Glad you had your uses!
I'll show you how useful I can be!
Splendid! I'm ready!
Kisara, frozen!
Hammer!
I'll heal you all! Oh, violent darting healing!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Oh, this helps.
Here I come!
Raging cascade!
Crush!
Healing circle!
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now, I'm certainly not that relaxed.
My face is starting to sting, and my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You...
This will be a delicious piece of cake! I'm ready!
Armor won't save you!
Here I come! I owe you one. Why'd you heal me?
You have to
stop me dying?
right there now, they're back!
Eagle Ray!
It looks like you've got this one covered!
Exploit the enemy's weakness.
Avenger, Radiant, here! Arrow swarm!
You're mine!
None shall escape my
I'll
judgment!
face you.
You're mine!
Firmament render!
Eternal
Rise!
devastation!
Captivity!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Now! Lost! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Hi, Hoodle!
It's over!
Elusive here!
Try harder!
I'll smash you!
My turn!
Cheating
Take this!
Rad!
Eternal devastation! It's on!
I never miss!
Its armor's too strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Heal! Healing circle!
Thanks, Xion.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better. Okay, here I go. It's over! Take this!
Not on my watch!
I'm ready! Here I
Penalty
come!
gales! Tear you to shreds!
Leave the charge!
Now! No escape!
Soaring blast!
Take this! You're finished! Eternal
Armor won't save
Do
you!
it! Kisara, I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Barely a blip on our radar.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try... anything funny. Especially you, Law. No pushing anyone, not even as a joke.
Not a little kid!
Let's see what you've got.
Annihilation! Raging Cascade! Here's evil! In here! This'll come in handy! The freezing storm! Blah, blah, blah!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Nothing gets by me.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all!
It's on!
Healing circle!
Power
Do it!
I don't know what I do without you.
Take! Blow them away!
May 1,000 gales tear you to shreds!
Resonate with the earth! Our arts are being interrupted.
Try harder! Now!
More where that came from!
Elusive deity!
Dance in the
I'll
wind!
take
You
you
can't
all
get
on.
out of this!
Seal!
Try harder! Not a chance!
Here's the evil!
Do it!
I'll be
It's
safe.
chill.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Oh, magic is in!
Burn!
Annihilation! Healing! Burning! Glacial field! Here's the evil! Carve now through all! Don't mind if I do!
Seismic rupture! Elusive deity!
I'll heal you all! Raging Cascade! Healing circle! Raging Cascade!
Rotating pile drive!
Dance in the wind! Instant air thrust!
They smite!
You're mine!
Here I go!
Now you see what I can do!
You're finished!
Magna Ray!
I can handle it.
Annihilation!
Now, Ringwell!
Frozen!
Hammer!
We're in good form!
Discourteous, aren't you?
There! Help this!
Stalagmite!
I never miss!
Blood! Rending you
Take
apart!
this!
Bloody howling! Are those rocks its skin?
None shall escape my judgment!
Strike!
I'll be
Eternal
saving
devastation! It's
Blah,
on!
blah, blah, magic!
Elusive deity!
Leave the enemy's art to me!
No complaints here!
Rending you apart! Take this! I'm not done!
Can't get out of this! Order won't save you! Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Where are you going?
I'll be
I'll
saving
thank
this
you.
one! Magic is
Elusive
ready!
deity!
Devastation!
Seal!
Away!
You're mine!
This'll come handy!
My turn!
I'm all frozen! Ranger! Not on my watch!
Eternal devastation!
Deity!
Now!
Here I come!
Rotating pile drive!
Take that! Go get it! Raging Cascade!
Can you take it? You're mine!
Here I come! Release! In an instant!
Impact cross!
We work
None
well
shall
together.
escape my
Like a
judgment.
finely timed
Here I
waltz.
come!
Elusive deity!
Ray!
My fists are crushing it out there!
Retreat if you know what's good for you!
A freezing storm!
Elusive deity!
Spray! I'm a tornado! In here!
Ha! Can't get out of
This'll
this!
come in handy!
Here I come!
Raging
Eternal
Cascade!
devastation!
Now you see what I
Aim for the weak spot!
Spray!
Eternal
I'm
devastation!
here, go!
Burn!
Alright, here it is! Showtime!
Here I come!
It looks like you got this one
Eternal
covered!
devastation!
This'll come in handy!
Rotating pile drive!
Take it!
It's
A
over!
whirling struggle! Magic is in! Cyclone! Annihilation!
You're mine! Eternal devastation!
Gemini Aqua!
No escape! Eternal devastation!
I'll heal you all! May 1,000
Take
gales
this!
tear you to
No
shreds!
escape!
Healing
I'll
circle!
grind you into dust!
Trusty nails!
Ah!
Seismic rupture!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all! Firmament render! Healing circle!
Rending you apart!
Take
Take this!
this!
Carve through armor!
Mega
I
ray!
owe you
With
one.
the earth!
Now!
Take! Ha! Blow them away!
That was almost too easy. No enemy can stand against us.
If only every battle went so well.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared.
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zeugles? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my
There you
shield's
go.
for!
Tornado drop.
Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! It's over!
Take this! Not so fast!
Armor won't save you!
Take this!
Rotating pile
Eternal
driver!
devastation!
Resonate with the earth!
Okay, burn in hell!
Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver!
In here!
Eternal devastation!
In a bind?
Magic! Crossblade!
Here I come!
Elusive deity!
Radiant Pierce! I'll heal you
I
all!
can carve through armor!
Can you take it?
Healing circle!
The official
Finish!
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
Here goes!
It's on!
More where that came from! I'll heal you all! Hold on to your heart! Here I come!
Easter!
Healing circle! Feel!
Not so fast! Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver!
Render!
You're mine!
By the power of wall!
Anything in armor is all mine!
It looks like you got this one covered!
Eternal devastation! It's
Rotating
over!
pile driver! The earth throbs in pain. Take this!
Here's another! Hit now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Radiant Pierce!
Tempest! Struck!
I'm out of ammo!
Elusive deity!
You're finished!
Rotating pile driver! The fluidity of your movements are simply incredible.
Take this!
Does it hurt?
You're finished!
Elusive deity!
I'm on the
Rotating
right
pile
side!
driver!
Mega Ray! Feel!
Shattering the
By the power of water!
Attack time!
This'll come in handy! Gemini!
I'll thank you!
Deny!
Elusive deity!
Here I come!
Begin!
Eternal
Rotating pile
devastation!
driver!
Easter!
Amazing.
Amazing!
You're mine!
Throbs in pain.
Crush!
Can't get out of this!
Storm!
You got company!
Resonate with the earth!
Radiant Pierce! Thousand gales!
Azure Storm!
None
Bathed in
shall
blood.
escape
Plunging you apart! Bloody
Azure Storm! You're finished!
Firmament
Elusive
Render!
deity!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Soaring fire! A thrilling performance. Elusive deity!
Never fail! Here comes!
Eternal
Dance in
devastation!
the wind!
Stalagmite!
Sleep now! Now!
One's all
Reload!
mine!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Denison!
Here come more!
We'll just have to keep fighting.
Take
Leave the enemy's arc to me!
Azure Storm!
no complaints here!
Easter!
Where are you going? Let's get you off this way!
Can't get out of this!
Will this help? In here!
Blending you apart!
Let's get you off this circle!
Try harder!
Being interrupted.
I'll be saving you!
Showtime!
Pain.
A whirling struggle!
Elusive deity!
Storm!
Naked the abyssal deep. Clear for us a path.
Here I come! Azure Storm!
This'll come in handy!
Azure Storm! We did it!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that wasn't stupid.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never seen Xion actually look flustered. Eat dirt! This one's mine!
Elusive deity!
I'm ready!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around. Cyan Instant!
Certainly not.
Raging Cascade!
Azure Storm!
Healing
In a
Effect!
bind?
Ready to go!
You attack without mercy.
Because I can't afford to head
You need to be careful with the blazing sword and with my friends.
Xion. I can carve through armor!
The flame inside
heal
me
you all.
yearns to be let free!
Healing Circle!
Power surges through me.
Reinforcements incoming! Not a problem!
Mega Ray! Gemini Nova! Mega Ray!
Ignite!
Let the marksman handle
Azure
this!
Storm!
Feel!
Azure Storm!
Here I come! I'm only getting They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Rinwell.
I'm not scared. I'm totally fine.
Azure Storm!
Any Crossblade! One more
Can't get out of this!
Azure
Get now!
I'll face
Let's
you!
get you all tucked
You're
away.
mine!
Don't mind if I do.
It's over!
Tornado drive!
No escape!
More with that
Azure Storm! It's over!
Let's get you all tucked away.
Elusive deity! I can carve through armor! Soaring blast!
More with that
Now! You're mine!
Leave this one's mine.
Thanks, Xion. Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
I'll heal you all.
Elusive deity!
Healing Circle.
Rotating pile driver!
Back into the
Azure Storm!
violence. Not on my watch. Back into the fray.
Elusive
Raging
deity!
Cascade.
Hell!
Begin!
Azure
here.
Storm!
I'll
You're mine!
saving
Azure
you.
Storm!
Can't get out of this!
I'll heal you all.
Try harder! My turn! Azure Storm!
Resonate with the earth!
I owe you one.
Sleep now.
Elusive deity!
Here I go!
Can you take it?
Azure Storm!
Soaring blast!
Anything in armor is all mine. Glacial Spear. Pierce Evil. All dead.
Elusive deity!
Sleep now.
Take this! I'm not done!
Soaring blast!
Wide open!
It won't escape me!
Handle this.
Elusive deity!
Take this! Azure Storm!
I'll heal you all.
Take it!
You're finished!
Knuckle back!
Healing
Elusive
Circle.
deity!
This one's all mine!
Feel the medicine working.
Crush!
Anything in armor is all mine!
You're mine!
Do it.
Xion!
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes!
It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
I'm grateful.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
Elfin.
Watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down! Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
I need to be stronger.
Hey, is that it over there?
Did we really just spend that much money?
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissalma, too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on... Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me! Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Dahnans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the Blazing Sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renins. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shionne.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shionne. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Dahnans and Renins, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you, until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renins finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shionne's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renus Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renus Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the Wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two.